greeting. They wanted a response, didn't they? A scream, a breakdown, a rant. Something they could screenshot, dissect, twist, pass around in their little group chats like a carcass on a cold table. But you gave them silence, and suddenly, it got loud. You see, there's a particular kind of horror that unfolds when the person you tried to destroy doesn't flinch. Not a tremble, not a whimper, just a stillness that stings harder than any scream ever could, because now they're stuck waiting for a war that already ended, and they lost. Without even knowing when, they didn't expect this, did they? Didn't expect you to rise without drama, didn't expect you to glow without clapping back, didn't expect the same silence they weaponized to become your sharpest blade. They built entire scenarios around your downfall, wrote scripts where you begged, where you chased, where you cracked under pressure. But you never auditioned, you just rewrote the genre. Saint or psychopath, healer or executioner, they still can't decide because you left them with no script, just your results, unapologetic, unexplained, undeniable. And that is what's driving them mad. Not what you said, not what you posted, but what they can't explain. They checked your profile again and again, looking for a crack, a hint, a flaw, a regret, but all they saw was calculated growth, a machine made of pain, a soul so scorched by betrayal, it evolved into something alien. You know what silence is, don't you? It's not peace, it's a pressure chamber. It doesn't mean you're weak, it means you're loading. And when you re-emerged, you didn't come back with vengeance, you came back with victory. No explanation, no disclaimer, no mercy. You are the result. They said you were quiet, you were working. They said you ghosted, you were growing. They said you switched up. Damn right, you upgraded, and now they replay conversations like detectives on a cold case. When did we lose them? What did we miss? Why does this hurt so much? Because they expected a broken version of you to crawl back. Instead, you turned into something that doesn't even speak their language anymore. You don't owe them a reaction. You don't owe them clarity. You don't owe them closure. You gave them something better. Your distance, your discipline, your dominance. Look at the irony, huh? They laughed when you disappeared. Now they study your silence like scripture. They mocked your absence. Now they watch your presence like a threat. You became their favorite obsession in a game they thought they already won. Because silence, my dear, isn't empty. It's a message they can't delete, a punishment they can't mute, a lesson they can't skip. And the worst part? You're not trying to prove anything. You're not even playing. You simply exist now, above their frequency. You made them feel stupid without saying a word. You made them question their relevance without lifting a finger. You didn't react. You didn't reply. You outgrew the whole arena. Now they're out here bleeding from battles you never even joined. And what are you now? A paradox, a villain with angel wings, a prophet with scars, a mirror so raw it makes people see themselves and hate you for it. You didn't break them. You just became the proof that they were never real to begin with. So let them talk. Let them twist the narrative. Let them pretend they're unfazed. Because behind every I don't care is a sleepless night spent watching the very one they swore they'd forgotten. You didn't clap back. You built a throne from every brick they threw. And now they bow to your silence. And here's the twist, sweetheart. It wasn't revenge. It wasn't some master plan to destroy them. You were just done. Done explaining yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. Done leaking your soul into black holes dressed as friends. Done lowering your volume to comfort cowards, choking on your frequency. You didn't vanish. You ascended. And they're still yelling at ghosts who've already outgrown the grave. Because the old you would have fought, would have defended every accusation, would have typed essays at 2 a.m. trying to prove your heart was pure. But the evolved you let the silence do the talking. And guess what it said? I don't play in dirt I already buried. They're mad, not because you changed, but because you didn't need them to. Because you healed without their apology. Because you outshined their attempts to dim you and made it look easy. Oh, that's the part they hate most. Not that you left, but that you never looked back. They thought silence was surrender. They didn't know it was the sound of the storm preparing. Because while they were busy being loud, you were busy becoming legend. And now the only thing louder than their gossip is the sound of your success making them swallow their words. You don't need a comeback. You are the consequence, the walking, I told you so. The living karma, the unskippable lesson they never saw coming. Every time they hear your name now, it itches, it stings, it scratches at the door of their insecurities like a reminder. You messed with the one thing you couldn't break. Because you didn't lose anything when you walked away. You just created space for your beast to breathe, and now you show up different, not louder, not flashier, just undeniably real. A threat with a calm voice, a storm with soft footsteps, a joker that doesn't laugh anymore. Because the joke is on them now. No reaction, no reply, just a spotlight so cold it burns, and results so loud. They scream without sound, so let them talk, let them spin, let them try to decode the silence that exposed their noise. Because you're not coming back to prove anything. You already became everything they said you'd never be. And now they sit in silence, scrolling through the aftermath, feeling stupid ass fuck. You didn't just win. You rewrote the definition of revenge. Oh, they hate this part the most. The part where you don't even care to defend yourself anymore. The part where you've healed in a way they can't discredit. The part where your existence is louder than their insults ever were. You stopped performing, stopped proving, and just became the proof. They thought they were special, huh? Thought their betrayal would break you, that their silence would bury you, that their little narratives would hold weight once you disappeared. But you weren't gone. You were in the shadows, building a version of yourself so dangerous they can't even look at you without flinching. You evolved beyond the drama. You stopped fighting for people who weren't even worth the bullet. You let go of the need to be understood, and in that surrender, you became unforgettable. You ever watch someone try to act unbothered by something that's clearly eating them alive? That's them, right now. Every post you make, every win you don't even announce, every step you take in silence that makes the room colder, they feel it. Because it's not just what you do, it's how you do it without them. That kills them. You don't block them, you don't mention them, you don't post subliminals or quotes that could be about them. You just erase them, not with hate, but with irrelevance. You made peace your weapon, distance your discipline, silence your final word, and now they're drowning in noise they created, noise they thought would distract you, destroy you, define you. But what happens when the weapon backfires, when the ghost they tried to haunt becomes the demon in their own head? That's you now. You're the what if, the how did they do it, the why can't I stop watching them. It's psychological warfare, baby. You're not playing anymore. You're programming. Every move you make teaches them something they weren't ready to learn. Every win without a word is a syllabus in power they'll never hold. Every upgrade in silence screams, You should have stayed loyal. But you won't say it. Because when the truth is that loud, you don't need to raise your voice. Saint or devil, prophet or predator, they still don't know what you are. And that confusion, that's your power. You're no longer predictable. You're not broken, not emotional, not triggered. You're surgical, cold, precise. You don't react because you already foresaw this. You don't reply because you already left the room. This isn't about being the bigger person. This is about being the final form, the version of you that doesn't get touched by gossip, that doesn't respond to chaos, that doesn't negotiate with clowns. You're the whisper in the courtroom, the name they don't say out loud, the file they don't open, because they know it contains the evidence of their failure. You don't post receipts. You are the receipt. No reaction, no reply. Just an algorithm-breaking glow-up that hits harder than any paragraph ever could. And still, they circle back. They lurk. They analyze, looking for cracks, looking for the old you, looking for a mistake they can screenshot. But there's nothing left to expose. You already did that for them. When you exposed your own pain, healed it, and turned it into a fucking empire. Now they scroll in silence. They gossip in whispers. They rehearse confrontations that'll never happen, because you've leveled up to a plane where they can't even get a response, let alone relevance. And every time they remember what they did, they realize you didn't clap back. You elevated, and that was the death sentence. So go ahead, stay quiet, stay still. Let your silence haunt them. Let your glow offend them. Let your wins be the sermons they can't unhear. You're the storm they laughed at, until the flood came and swallowed their whole ego. You don't react. You don't reply. You just destroy, quietly. And that makes them feel stupid as fuck. Every single day. Oh, but you want the real sting? It wasn't that you didn't say anything back. It's that they weren't even worth the breath. That's what eats them alive. Not the silence itself, but the fact that you chose it. Calculated, intentional, powerful. Like a lion who doesn't chase flies. Like a shadow that doesn't beg for the spotlight. Like a god that no longer walks among mortals. Because that's what they can't process. You're not ignoring them. You've evolved past the need to explain your existence. And now, they're stuck. Stuck replaying every last interaction, scouring their memory for a moment. Any moment they could twist to justify what you became. But they can't find it. Because while they were trying to win arguments, you were winning in real life. And they feel that sting every day they wake up and realize they can't trigger you anymore. No reaction, no reply, no validation. Just that chilling silence that screams louder than rage ever could. Here's what they'll never admit. They miss the version of you they could manipulate. The version that explained, apologized, softened yourself to be understood. The version that broke down when ignored, that fought to stay, that begged for closure. That version, dead, mourned, buried, forgotten. And what rose from the ashes wasn't a comeback. It was a transformation, a monster made of boundaries and brilliance, a soul refined through betrayal, a voice sharpened through suppression, a mind reprogrammed through pain. And that version of you, they can't reach, can't guilt, can't gaslight, can't confuse, can't manipulate. So now they call you cold, distant, unrecognizable. No, you're unbreakable. You stopped chasing people who ran from accountability. You stopped bleeding for people who would have watched you die. You stopped performing for an audience that clapped when you collapsed. You shut the theater down, burned the stage, built an empire on the ashes, and now They need a ticket just to watch. They thought silence meant defeat, that walking away meant weakness. But now they see what it really meant. You were creating space for the demon they never wanted to meet. You don't look back, because nothing behind you deserves your attention. Not the lies, not the projections, not the versions of you they invented to feel better about themselves. Let them choke on the rumors. Let them gasp under the weight of your wins. Let them spiral, trying to figure out how you pulled it off without making a sound. Because every move you made in silence echoes like a gunshot in their guilty conscience. And you've become allergic to noise. You don't argue because you don't need to convince anyone who you are. You are felt. Like a shift in the atmosphere, like a prophecy fulfilled, like a storm that didn't come with a warning, but left everything different. They say silence is golden. Nah. In your case, it's nuclear. Every time you don't respond, someone out there spirals a little harder. Every time you don't explain, another mask falls off in panic. Every time you don't retaliate, your legend grows in places your name has never even been spoken. Because you didn't just win the war, you made sure they couldn't even tell where the battlefield was. And now they see you. Laughing harder, moving smarter, glowing heavier, winning louder, without saying a word. That's what they can't compete with. Power that doesn't need an audience. So let the records show. You gave no reaction. You gave no reply. You gave no mercy. Just results. Clean, undeniable, devastating. And the deeper truth. You didn't do it to hurt them. You did it to become the version of yourself that never needed them in the first place. Now that's what made them feel stupid as fuck. And every scroll, every whisper, every sleepless night they spend stalking you in silence is the receipt. Oh, and let's not forget the best part. The part where they still don't get it. They're pacing in circles, whispering in corners, begging the universe for a reaction from you. Not because they care, but because your silence is exposing the weakness they thought they hid so well. They can't tell their friends they miss you. Can't admit that watching you level up without them feels like suffocating. Can't confess that every achievement you unlock feels like a personal insult. Because in their mind, they were supposed to be your limit. But now, they realize they were never the villain in your story. They weren't even the obstacle. They were just irrelevant. And that, my friend, is psychological warfare at its finest. You see, when they can't understand how you became this unstoppable version of yourself without them, they start tearing down the very image of you they used to worship. Suddenly it's, yeah, but it's all fake. He or she thinks they're special now. They changed. They're not the same anymore. Damn right. You're not. You're colder. You're quieter. You're smarter. You're sharper. You're so far removed from their frequency, even their insults can't find a signal. No more oversharing. No more explaining your heart to unqualified listeners. No more softening your edges to make cowards comfortable. You let the silence do the heavy lifting now. Let the distance deliver the sermon. Let the results slap them across the soul every time they think of you. And still, you smile. Not out of pettiness, but because you know how much power it takes to say absolutely nothing and still be the loudest force in the room. They tried to paint you as emotional, but you turned calm into cruelty. They tried to label you dramatic, but you turned detachment into domination. You didn't ghost them. You evolved past the point of visibility. You became something they can't even categorize anymore. Not an ex-friend, not a rival, not a threat, a fucking mystery. And that mystery, it eats them alive. Because they can't move on from something they never understood. They can't heal from someone who never gave them closure. You broke their entire psychological framework just by refusing to entertain their circus. They don't tell the full story, of course. They never say, "You didn't reply because you were healing. You didn't react because you were building. You didn't reach out because you finally realized your worth." No. That would make you look powerful. So instead they play the victim. Say you switched up. Say you ghosted. Say you became too good for them. As if that wasn't the point all along. You were never looking to fit in. You were growing out of places that never deserved your presence. And every time they thought you were losing, you were just losing access to people who were never supposed to come with you. And now, every room you walk into shakes, because you carry the energy of someone who knows what it's like to be underestimated and come back unstoppable. Your silence wasn't passive, it was surgical, deliberate, engineered, a bulletproof vest stitched together with restraint. And now, every time they hear your name, they flinch. Not because they hate you, but because they fear what you've become. And they should. Because what are you now? You're the version of yourself they never believed in. You're the dream they mocked, the healing they delayed, the potential they tried to poison. And now they're stuck choking on the leftovers of the pain they served you. So when people ask, "Why didn't you respond? Why didn't you fight back? Why didn't you say anything?" Just smile, because you know the truth. You didn't need to scream. You became the storm. You didn't need revenge. You became the mirror. You didn't need closure. You became the locked door. No reaction, no reply, no explanation, no closure. Just scars that turned to shields. Just silence that turned into power. Just growth that turned into proof. And now, they talk. They whisper, they lie, they deflect. But every time they do, they feel it. That sting, that ache, that voice in their head screaming, "Damn, I messed up the one person who really meant it." But it's too late. You're not the same. You're not reachable. You're not waiting. And the only thing louder than the silence you gave them is the screaming regret inside their own mind. Because you said nothing, and they never recovered.